2, 1.
7 things you probably didn't know you need to know. I'm Jamie East, and this is the Smart 7.
Good morning, everybody. It's Thursday, the 7th of October, and it's National Poetry Day. And a big happy birthday to Vladimir Putin, Yo-Yo Ma, Simon Cowell, and Lewis Capaldi.
7.
Wednesday saw the Tory party conference wrap up in Manchester with Prime Minister Boris Johnson taking to the stage for his party leader speech. He echoed the themes of Build Back Better and Levelling Up.
We have one of the most imbalanced societies and lopsided economies of all the richer countries. It is an appalling waste of potential, and it is holding this country back.
And while he said he recognised the imbalance in society but failed to address the cuts in universal credit or the energy crisis, he spoke in praise of the forces of capitalism, which he credited with creating the vaccine to deal with the pandemic.
It was capitalism that ensured we had a vaccine in less than a year. And the answer, therefore, is not to attack the wealth creators, it's to encourage them, because they are responsible for the aggregate increase in the country's wealth that enables us to make those Pareto improvements and to level up everywhere.
And he closed with a shout out to a nightclub-loving Michael Gove, who he painted as a sort of COVID safety ambassador, bringing the conference to a raucous close.
Let's hear it for John Bon Jovi, living proof that we represent the most jiving, hip, happening and generally funkapolitan party in the world.
Even as Michael Gove and Theresa Kofi parted in Manchester, millions were facing the £20 per week cut in the universal credit payment as the pandemic uplift was withdrawn. On Good Morning Britain, former Minister Edwina Currie was defending the government line and insisting it makes no sense to pay people to stay at home.
There's 30 million people out there in the country who are listening to me as I say, the best benefit is a job.
Former footballer and potential future Prime Minister Gary Neville had a different take on the cut to universal credit. He lays the blame at Boris's door, and maybe he was hungry, but he made quite a good case that Boris is like the spaghetti bolognese of politicians.
He's a bit of a spaghetti bolognese of a man. Each of his sentences and his speeches are almost like a strand of spaghetti. You have no idea where it starts and you've certainly no idea where it ends. And if you look at a menu and you've sort of got a waiter or a waitress over your shoulder asking you to make a choice, you have to make a panicky decision and your choices are really poor, you end up going for your spaghetti bolognese. And we need really good alternatives.
A recurring theme throughout the Tory conference has been a reluctance to name misogyny as a hate crime. It's been inspired by the wave of violence against women, including the murders of Sarah Everard and Sabina Nessa. Justice Secretary and Deputy Prime Minister Dominic Raab was asked for his opinion on the matter, and alarmingly, he didn't even appear to understand the term.
So I think insults and misogyny is, of course, absolutely wrong, whether it's a man against a woman or a woman against a man.
Nottinghamshire Police were the first police force in the country to treat misogyny as a hate crime, and former Chief Constable Sue Fish says it's not the answer, but it's an important first step.
I've never said misogyny hate crime is the solution. I think it is one vital step in terms of a preventative model for women to make sure that they're not subject of violence at the hands of men.
There was a major historical moment on Wednesday for Africa as the World Health Organization announced that following successful pilot programs, they're now recommending the rollout of the world's first malaria vaccine. There are over 200 million cases of malaria a year, largely in sub-Saharan Africa, where over 200,000 children died from the disease in 2019. WHO Director General Dr. Tedros Adhanom Ghebreyesus hailed the life-saving development.
I longed for the day that we would have an effective vaccine against this ancient and terrible disease. And today is that day, an historic day. Today, WHO is recommending the broad use of the world's first malaria vaccine.
Still to come on the Smart 7, the gloves are on for this weekend's big fight in Vegas, and Rami Malek has a strange Daniel Craig story to tell, right after this.
You're listening to the Smart 7. If you're enjoying it, you might also like the Smart 7 Ireland edition. Just search and follow us on your favourite podcast platform.
This weekend sees Tyson Fury facing off against Deontay Wilder in Las Vegas for their third heavyweight matchup. They drew the first while Deontay lost the second bout, but now he's ready to go again.
I see me beating him up and then knocking him out.
There's many things that I visualized in the first fight, along with the second. But this time around, it's just a different feeling, just the energy as a whole, you know. And I'm looking forward to putting on a great performance come October the 9th.
Tyson Fury, as usual, was focused on winding up his opponent, as apparently they're booked into the same hotel.
I'm going to be terrorising him all night. I'll be phoning his phone up and knocking on his door and running away, because that's how we roll.
No Time to Die has been a box office smash, making all of the waiting worthwhile. And this season's Bond villain Rami Malek was chatting away with Jimmy Kimmel about life on set and the first time he met Daniel Craig. Rami was in his trailer getting his prosthetic makeup done when he saw in the distance Daniel approaching. He was torn between hiding out until the makeup was finished or stepping out to go toe-to-toe with Bond.
He appeared from 300 feet. He was almost instantly right in front of me. And if you don't know, this guy, Daniel Craig, he's like a cheetah. And he kind of looks, he took a little step back, so I said, okay, that's cool. Because he'd seen the prosthetic and it threw him off a little bit. And then he put his arms around me and goes, it's gonna be okay.
Anyone in the mood for a musical? What about a musical about a musical? Directed by a musical theatre legend? Good news, Tick Tick Boom is on the way. It's directed by Lin-Manuel Miranda and it stars Andrew Garfield, who plays Jonathan Larson, the creator of the musical Rent. So if you like a bit of singing about the thing we're doing and some sweeping shots of New York, you're in luck. It's on Netflix and it's out in November.
Maybe I'm just wasting my time.
Do you know how many Jonathan Larsons there are? One.
Why should we blaze a trail? There's not enough time. I went to 3 friends' funerals last year, and nobody is doing enough. I'm not doing enough.
Try writing about what you know.
What does it take to wake up the generation?
This has been The Smart 7. Wherever you're listening, do us a favour and hit the follow button. We'll be back tomorrow at 7 a.m. Have a great day. Written, produced and published by Daft Doris.